Welcome to quantitative aptitude video on time and work. Time and work is the most popular and important topic in placement tests, jobs, interviews and all competitive exams. Each exam generally sees 2 to 3 sums of this topic. For many people it is very difficult. But today we learn tips and tricks that will help us to solve these sums under 1 minute. Also, you can practice this topic. So, now let's start with time and work. To solve sums related to time and work, you just need to remember one small tip, that is nothing but just invert. Yes, invert. What does that mean? Let us see. Say, if you are given a value n, on inversion, how much be the value? It would be 1 by n. And if you are given 1 by n on inverting, what will happen? 1 by n become n. Inverting means just take this over here and this over here. 1 by n on inversion we will get n. N on inversion, what we will get? 1 by n. This is the tip that will be useful to solve sums related to time and work, pipes and cistern, and also sometimes work and wages. Now let us take an example and understand what exactly we are talking about inverting. Say, if total work can be done in 30 days, then in 1 day, how much work is done? 1 by 30. Because we do just inverting. So, in 1 day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done. That means we are converting days to works. Same way, the opposite. If in 1 day, 1 by 30 amount of work is done, in how many days total amount of work would be done or total work would be finished? Simply invert, and what we get? 1 by 30 on inversion, we get 30. So here we converted work to days. So we can go from days to work and work to days by just inverting. If they have given total work and we have done in these many days, so in 1 day how much work would be done? Simply invert it. And if they have given 1 day work, then to find total number of days for finishing the work, simply invert it. After this, another very small concept which we have learned right from childhood, that is nothing but if you work more, time needed would be less. Time needed less means number of days needed would be less. Now again, if you are completing some work using 10 men, now if you employed 20 men, what will happen? That means if number of men increase, amount of work done will also increase, because 20 men will do more work, and if more work is there, that means number of days would decrease or time required would be decreased. So these two very simple things which we know, our common sense, these two will be used for solving sums related to time and work. Let us see how to apply inversion and these small tricks to solve the sum. If M1 person can do W1 work in D1 days and M2 person can do W2 work in D2 days, then we have a very general formula in the relationship of M1 D1 W2 equal to M2 D2 W1. The above relationship can be taken as a very basic and all-in-one formula. We also derive first more men, less days, and conversely more days, less men. Second, more men, more work, and conversely, more work, more men. Third, more days, more work, and conversely, more work, more days. Now, let us see one example. If A can do a piece of work in 5 days, how many days will he take to complete 3 works of the same type? We recall the statement more work, more days. It simply means that we will get the answer by multiplying. Thus, our answer is 5 multiply 3 equals to 15 days. This way of solving the question is very simple. But you should know how the basic formula could be used in this question. Recall the basic formula. What is that? M1 D1 W2 equal to M2 D2 W1. As A is the only person to do the work in both the cases. So here M1 equal to M2 equals to 1. Why? Because useless to carry it. Here D1 is given to us as 5 days. W1 is given to us as 1. D2 we have to find out, and W2 it is given 3. Now putting all these value in the formula, we have 5 multiply 3 equals to D2 multiply 1, or D2 equals to, yes, 15 days. If we include the working hours, say T1 and T2 for 2 groups, then what is the relationship? The relationship is M1 D1 T1 W2 equal to M2 D2 T2 W1. Again, if the efficiency, say E1 and E2 of persons in 2 groups is different, then what will be relationship? Relationship is M1 D1 T1 E1 W2 equal to M2 D2 T2 E2 W1. Now let us see one more example. If 16 men can do a piece of work in 10 days, how many men are needed to complete the work in 40 days? Now let us see its solution. To do a work in 10 days, 16 men are needed, or to do the work in 1 day, 16 multiplied with 10 men are needed. So to do the work in 40 days, 16 multiplied 10 over 40 equals to 4 men are needed. This was the method used for non-objective exams. We should see how the basic formula works here. Here M1 is 16, D1 is 10, W1 is 1, and M2 we have to find out. D2 is 40, W1 is again 1. Thus, the formula M1 D1 W2 equal to M2 D2 W1, 16 multiply 10 equals to M2 multiply 40, or M2 equals to 16 multiply 10 over 40 means 4 men. Thank you.